A lot of people think of interior design as interior decoration. Now you've got to establish that everybody's an interior designer, they move a wall, change the furniture, etc. But interior design per se as an education is about working out the brief, what the brief is. Actually, there's a lot of depth in thinking of interior design and the spatial awareness, the behaviour of the people. Now that's something that, in my view, in Nigeria, it's been looked at as decoration. So I think the change has been through IDAN, the association, which is only 4 years old, but actually establishing much more of a depth in the interior design as a profession, because it is a profession.
How much of a role does interior design play within the creative industry, and what potential does it have to be an economic booster for Nigeria?
Again, to understand that interiors, every building needs to be considered. Every space that we're in and use, an interior designer should have addressed and actually worked out that you're comfortable, you can see properly, the lighting's good. It goes on absolutely, the types of finishes. It's not a superficial industry. It's a profession that has actually got depth into the function of things working, etc. And that's where it sits in the creative industries. It's one of the most important disciplines because we're all involved with it. We all, with graphics and fashion, it's on the superficial, on the outside, more so than interior design, which is integral to our lives.
The average interior designer in the US earns about $45,000 per annum. How does this differ here, and what do you think needs to be done to support the industry to make it a more viable form of income for local designers?
Well, first of all, it's actually got to be seen in the context of the built environment and the construction industry. So the interior design is a collaboration, and the interior designer is there to take the problem, actually resolve it, solve it, design what's going to go into it and prepare the package that then goes to the builder. So I think it's absolutely crucial that a qualification is actually produced. As well as registration for interior designers. Nobody should actually act or practice as a designer without actually the qualification and registration. Once that's done, then it produces the right people to integrate into the design team and actually produce the right results.
Recently, Nigeria has seen an increased number in the strategic position of interior design projects. Why do you think corporates are taking a keener interest in the aesthetic components of their companies now?
I've been in the industry for 40 years and I don't understand why any building is actually developed without an interior design involvement, because the interior designer analyses the brief, solves the problems of the space, and it's absolutely crucial to the whole space. And I think the difference in countries like Nigeria is that it has not been seen as integral to the design team, the building team. It's actually been seen as superficial. Therefore, buildings are put up and the interior designer comes along and adds things. And it isn't a superficial profession. It's actually seen as an integration and collaboration.
The role of interior design is changing from just its internal focus to now being involved in things like urban planning, ensuring that cities are not just strategically planned but also visually pleasing. How do you think a place like Nigeria could benefit from taking this into consideration when setting up new urban developments?
Design is at the key to any construction, and it's what we call the consideration of what materials you're using, how the space works, whether or not it's lit, whether or not it's workable, and that happens on the outside and the inside. And there's a lot of research been done recently on urban planning, specifically in London, where what's happening is there's table tennis tables popping up in different places, so that you're integrating behaviour of people. And it's not the interior is the building's a shelter, but the sort of integration and collaboration of urban planners, architects, structural engineers, interior designers, graphic designers on wayfinding. I mean, it's actually a complete team effort.
The focus on the interior design sector is quite new in Nigeria. What steps is the government taking to help develop this growing industry?
Basically, the awareness now has started to be created for the interior decoration practice, which is relatively new in Nigeria, and the government is now coming in to partner with the practitioners to see how we can take it to the next level. I've told them about the newly approved national policy on housing and urban development. I've requested them to take advantage of that policy, take advantage of the provisions in that policy that affect their profession, and come over to the ministry so that we can partner and take to the next level the profession of interior decoration, which, like I said earlier, is relatively new in this country.
The lack of qualified interior designers has been raised as an issue within this sector. What is the government putting in place to ensure that qualified individuals are available?
Government has gone a step forward using the institution that we call the National Board for Technical Education to create certification for people in that profession. I think they have just started, but going forward, I think eventually they will get there.